히트 시즌2.
Welcome, guys, to the SPL Round 3 Playoffs, day number 1. I am Valdez. With me today is Artosis. How are you doing?
Oh, dude, I'm fantastic. Are you kidding me? Here I am. It's the Pro League Playoffs. It is the two teams that have kind of upset to get here, Afreeca and CJ. This is going to be great, man.
It should be a really close match as well, and there is so much on the line. I believe the team that wins today will actually be able to get into the final playoffs.
Yeah, I believe
League.
so. I think you're right about that.
This one game here, it is just the bronze challenger match for the playoffs, you know, the semifinals essentially, but it's still so much on the line here.
It's literally the most important match of this set, like of this little playoffs that we have right now. This match in particular, one of these teams is going to do it. And guys, by the way, get out there and spread the word, please, that Pro League is on. This is like one of the greatest tournaments in the world. It's the oldest esport tournament in the world, and it doesn't get anywhere near the viewers it should.
Yeah,
we should have like 1 million people right now on Twitch watching, but we don't, and that's stupid.
Yeah.
People are dumb. Help people.
Get everybody in here. Get people on multi-Twitch. I know Valencia is going to be on in an hour. Get people watching all the Starcraft in the world at the moment. Lots of actually new players here on the left side here for the Freaks. A lot of players that I do not recognize.
Was that Billowy with the mask, maybe?
Perhaps. No, I see him over there. Maskless.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have his mask on today.
Who was that in the mask, actually?
I don't know. One of the newer players. I see another new player there next to Legend as well.
That's cool. That's cool. This match, do you have a prediction for me?
I feel like Afreeca is going to take this one.
Really?
It's just a gut feeling, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, they're really going to be relying on herO. CJ is, I feel, for a lot of their wins. I think he needs to get at least 2. And their upset win that they had recently to actually get here was really good. They had guys, I think Bunny stepped it up and beat, I think Innovation. Yeah, it was insane, right? He was able to force that ace match.
Totally.
And then they had Curious come out, and for some reason, oh, wait, no.
Curious
that was CJ.
on the Afreeca one, where Curious got 2 kills.
Yeah, and then herO came out, and he beats someone who I forget.
No, he played against a Zerg player.
Was it Dark?
Yes, it was Dark.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming, but I didn't want to go outright and say it. But here are our point rankings so far, and you can see right down there the Freaks and CJ only 5 points away.
Yeah. By the way, this season really started to, or rather this year of Pro League has really started to deliver lately. Like, all these teams are starting to show really top quality games. Samsung has been coming up MVP. Of course, neither of those guys have a chance. It's these two teams that are really fighting for the overall playoffs right now.
I'm just really impressed by how the Freaks came through in round number 3.
Yeah.
Like CJ, they were kind of like lollygagging. They were behind, but they somehow just barely got in towards the last game here. But the Freaks, all of their players just started playing so much better.
They really did.
Super Patience, Alive.
Yeah.
Everyone on that team really stepped it up. You can tell they're really practicing for this one.
So true. And I didn't think the Afreeca Freaks were going to do that well this year. I mean, I was hoping, but they picked up Patience. That really paid off. Alive out of nowhere became like God mode.
He turned it on again somehow.
And Superman, he's been quite a story as well. But, for this match, you said that you think that we're going to see Afreeca win, right?
Yeah.
I have to lean a little bit more towards CJ. I just feel like their lineup is a bit deeper. I look at the Afreeca lineup and I'm like, okay, the 4 players they're going to use are going to be Patience, Alive, Curious, and Super. It's very easy to tell. Whereas, with CJ, I'm like, well, they could actually use everyone except for maybe Hush. Because Hush,
I don't want to see
win
Hush.
on TV. Well, I want to see him, but he doesn't win ever, right?
Yeah, he's like something like 0-7, 0-8
yeah,
now.
I believe he's 0-8.
For the entirety of Pro League this year, which is really disappointing.
What is 8 other than a vertical infinity sign, Valdez? That's what I always say.
Yeah, it's nothing, It's like he's got infinity losses.
You may as well with 8, right? Oh my God. But, I mean, I think they have, like, a pretty damn deep lineup. Like, I can't name the 4 players that'll come out for sure. I think Ragnarok's in good shape. Bjol is always really strong. MC has shown great games. Bunny is their only Terran player, so you'd imagine he comes out. I mean, this is, it just feels like a little bit deeper, so I'm, like, leaning slightly towards
It's interesting.
CJ, but I think it's such a close match.
I think CJ has a couple more options that they can use. I think they can go as deep as 5 or 6 players for sure, but at the end of the day, we're only going to get to 4. And when we put the 4 against the 4 that we might see, so let's say for CJ we see herO, Bjall, Bunny, and maybe Ragnarok, maybe MC can come out as well. I feel like Super, Alive, Patience, and Curious are actually playing better. They're in better shape right now.
I can't argue with that.
Going up head-to-head, I mean, the only thing that's scary is that herO is a monster. And I feel like he can beat all 4 of those players in a row on Afreeca. So that kind of gives CJ a boost in my mind.
You might be right about that, but the saving grace. Okay, first off, I think Patience versus herO can't. That could go to Patience. He's playing really well lately. But map number 2 is going to be King Sejong Station. And Alive, I think, is right around 5th, maybe 6th best Terran in the world right now. And you put him on a map like King Sejong Station, I think that's going to be a hard game for herO to win. So that might be a saving grace here tonight for Afreeca to try to stop herO before he gets a roll going.
It is also scary because historically herO has been so strong on King Sejong Station. Yeah, Alive has been good too, but herO, that's been his map, at least in Heart of the Swarm, and he's come out a lot on that map as well in Pro League since we did re-add that into the pool. So kind of scary. That's going to be a really interesting match if it does get to it. What a good start, though, if Patience could take this win against herO.
Well, that would be just gigantic. And Patience is one of these guys that you can never underestimate at this point. He has quickly become a very strong Protoss that you have to respect a lot, and I think he's not even close to what his peak is going to be. I really feel this is going to be like a top 3 world Protoss. He's super strong, man. This is a very, very smart player.
I definitely agree with you. He had a bit of a boost in the beginning of round 3, and then he fell down a little bit. He took some losses, but I feel like it's like the trend, right? It's like stocks. You go up, then you take a little retracement, and then you burst out, right? And I feel like that's coming eventually. I definitely agree with you. Perhaps next year, maybe he turns it on now for playoffs. Who knows?
That would be a really big deal right there. He could pull out his inner SOS and just kill everybody in the whole league.
I mean, another guy on their team, Billowy, has done it before, right? God. So he did it for MVP before. But guys, it looks like we are going to jump into the first game, herO versus Patience on New Gettysburg. Down here in the bottom left in the purple for Afreeca, it is Patience.
And his opponent in the bottom right in the yellow. The winningest player in Pro League this year by miles.
Yeah.
Not percentage-wise. Maru's got that on lockdown for eternity, but this guy has won so many games. His back must hurt, man, from getting CJ into this playoffs.
No, you're exactly right. There's a reason that we hype this guy so much, right? Because he's really the key for CJ. If he can get 2-3 wins, or even 4, I mean, then they just go on right away, right? But if he can get 2 or 3, they're going to be in a great shape here against Afreeca.
Well, if he takes 2 wins, the first 2 wins, because I really think if he wins game 1, you're probably... I mean, you could send out Curious on King Sejong Station, but if he takes out Alive as well, Alive and Patience are, in my opinion, the 2 most solid players on Afreeca. They're the ones that you can really count on to take some wins. So I think that would be too much. I think that could be the beginning of the end right there.
Yeah, kind of surprised that we don't see Curious actually coming out on this map. He came out, I believe, twice on New Gettysburg. He was looking quite good on this map. He did a timing in an ace match actually against another Zerg and won that game. He's been really just preparing his builds very well for his best of ones recently. And, what better way to, perhaps snipe herO on this first map?
Yeah, that was really kind of impressive how much he stepped up. I really never kind of expect that out of Curious. He's always just okay, I'll get enough wins and do well enough that I'm definitely a very good pro gamer. But the amount of clutch that he showed for his team was pretty outstanding. So I do wonder where they have him in this roster. He's coming out tonight 100% though.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look at the maps, you were talking about King Sejong Station, another possibility could be Curious, but where would he come out? Maybe Frost Frozen Temple towards the end if it gets there? Those are the last 2 maps we have? Or that's actually game 5 and 6. And then I think we do go to New Gettysburg again for game 7. But again, I think King Sejong Station, New Gettysburg would have been a nice combo for Curious as well. But yeah, that's like they wanted to use patience here.
That's a good point. You know, obviously a lot of thought has gone into this for these 2 teams, as we've been talking about. It is so crucial that they win if they want to get into that ultimate playoff spot. So nothing will be left on the table here tonight.
Yeah, we already have an interesting start to this game. Stargate and Robotics. He made 1 Stalker, actually. He's only just making out of 1 Gateway here.
Now, this really looks like he's going to expand to the islands, right? Like maybe go Sky Toss. We have seen some crazy games in Pro League on this map. Those carrier games, you know, whenever SOS is involved, it seems like someone's dying to carriers on this map.
Carriers are made if that guy's in the game. Yeah.
Not necessarily by who you would think, but we do have the Stargate coming up from Patience as well, but the Oracle will be there well in advance of any Phoenixes that he could make. Oh, and he didn't even see it.
That's pretty big. You know, he would definitely like to get that kind of scouting information. He is going to see it with the Oracle anyway. And, I mean, I think you're exactly right. With the Warp Prism being made right now, you can easily just ferry 1 probe over to the island. And
yeah, and if you have air dominance, Protoss is not killing your island. It is just not going to happen. There are free bases. You can sit on top of ramps and stuff. Like, if you have air dominance, you can get 4 bases here super easy in PvP.
That's why I was wondering and looking to see if he was going to go for a Phoenix up next, but it looks like he wants to make an Immortal. And in fact, that probe has gone over here. The Oracle comes in and he just tags the base. He's not even going to overcommit.
He actually didn't see the Stargate with that tag.
Yeah, he still has no idea. Oh, wait, no, he saw it. Did
he?
It looks like one of the probes got tagged.
Oh, okay, and it went back. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Well, at least he knows now, and it is going to be Phoenix versus Phoenix. That expansion going to be a little bit quicker for Patience, but, you know, that's fine, I guess. Whoever gets that Phoenix lead is really going to be the one that has the advantage.
Look at this. Actually, a pretty early ferry over to the island. I suppose he's already saturated at his main, and that's why he just wants to go for that. But this is going to be scouted immediately, actually, by Patience. So we'll see how he wants to respond to this kind of island play.
And can you really respond to it, I guess? Like, Patience right now is making it more... Okay, he cancels it for a Prism, so that can only tell me that he either wants to respond by trying to attack it, or... Oh, okay, he cancels that too and throws down an Observer. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense, because it's like, well, if you're trying to go, like, Phoenixes plus this, it's not going to work. So, kind of weird stuff here.
You were talking about, is there a response? I guess it's to freak out and hesitate and make a bunch of different units and buildings and then just decide you can't do anything about it.
And this is actually playing really against what Patience is normally very good at. Like, I've done so much research on this guy, and he's like, he knows like the tech branches he needs to take all the time. He's always going towards the right counter to his opponents, but this map is so weird. It feels like he's just not comfortable on it with the amount of cancels that we just saw in a row. That was like, you know, a lot of stalling out and not really, you know, doing what he needs to do.
It's almost like he doesn't have a set response, right?
Yeah,
maybe he's seen it 5 times or something, but he's still not 100% sure what the right response is. So he's like, should I do it this one this time, or should I try the other one? Okay, I'll just back off. Let me just take an early third.
Yeah, and that, you know, that does make sense to take the early third. You're playing against someone going like Sky Toss. You can definitely out-expand them. I am very nervous for him, though, right? Like, his Observer will get in, okay, it sees, there's 2 Stargate Phoenix, but there's no disadvantage to what herO's doing here. It just feels like an amazingly strong, perfect play.
Yeah, and this is going to be scouted, I believe, there by that. Yeah, he did see the Nexus with this Adept, so herO does know about that early expand. He hasn't taken a third base of his own. It looks like he actually wants to put on a bit of pressure with this high number of Phoenixes and just a small number of Stalkers on the ground.
All right, the Phoenix is coming over right now. The Prism sitting right there. He's going to be able to pick that off if he wants. Overcharge does force him back. And these, oh man, no, you can't fight like 8 Phoenixes with 2 Phoenixes. That doesn't work, right, guys?
No, you don't run those Phoenixes in. That doesn't delay anything. There's no reason to do that.
Yeah.
Straight up a mistake, but that's okay.
3rd Stargate coming up, and he's starting some Immortal production as well. So this is almost getting to the point where he can just lift Stalkers even to kill them, you know? Like, he's just got so many Phoenixes. Yeah. This is, like, so one-sided right now.
And is he even going to take that 3rd base? I mean, he's got the minerals to do it, but it doesn't look like he's gearing up to do it as well. Well, hold on that thought. He's actually going to come in here and lift a bunch of these Stalkers, as you were saying.
Okay, thank God for that overcharge, because he was literally right on the edge of where you win the game, because suddenly you have so many Phoenixes, you kill Stalkers with them, but just barely not working out for him. DT does walk up, but it doesn't look like that's really going to get too much done. Oh, maybe the one on the island, though. Where's your detection at, buddy?
Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Observer coming over. Gets 4 kills. Not bad.
Yeah, this DT gets in. Doesn't look like it'll actually get anything done there. A little bit glitchy. And Patience actually going into Glaives. So this could mean that he wants to just go all in coming up here. Just a massive warping of Stalkers and Adepts. See if you can kill your opponent. But with this many Phoenixes out, I don't know, man. I just feel like everything is tilted in hero's favor.
Yeah, and after all, do you really need the Glaives? I mean, how many Adepts are you going to be making after all when you're fighting this many Phoenixes?
Right?
I suppose you need a certain number because you see that hero is going for Immortals, but you can't really over-make them. You can't make the bulk of your army into Adepts if you see this many Phoenixes.
Now, the one cool thing that we see from Patience is, of course, he did take that quick 3rd base, so his probe count's really high. His economy is looking quite nice. And, this is why he is such a strong player. Like, no matter what happens in the game, he kind of stays the course in macros well. So we'll see if that works out for him. But a nice blink in here as herO is trying to reduce that probe count, getting 10 already.
Yeah, this is insane. He's really trying to even it up here. He may even get that Mothership Core, too. Easy pickoff here as he just flies on by, forces a bunch of overcharges, and he could just come back in. He doesn't even need to stay around now. Actually loses a Phoenix here.
And what do you think about this robotics support bay over here? This is kind of cool. I mean, he already has so many Phoenixes, you can't really counter support bay units. Like, whether he wants to go Disruptors and then counter that as Phoenixes, or, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, actually. That's really smart since he has so many Phoenixes. Like, normally when you scout Disruptors, nowadays, the reason why no one goes Disruptor is because your opponent just goes, like, 2 Stargate Phoenix, he has 1 Phoenix for every Disruptor, your Disruptors all die. Like, the shots don't work. But, I mean, this is really smart from herO.
That's a really nice just read. I wonder if this was planned, too. If he was like, no, this is what I'm going to do. Just get the air control, take the islands, but then also transition into Disruptors because of exactly what you're saying. And it's not even like he overcommitted to the Phoenixes either. I think he made that 3rd Stargate you were talking about.
Yeah.
He still has that. But then once he realized that Patience wasn't going to fight him in the air, he was just like, no, I have air control. I don't need more than what I have now, so I'll just get other units instead.
Very good point, and that kind of makes him much safer against this very heavy gateway style that we do see out of Patience, who, by the way, adding a bunch of gateways right now. Does have some mortals out. He just finished up +2 attack. His army is very scary, but the more Disruptors come out, the more dangerous this is going to become.
We could pick off this probe. No, not going to go for it.
That would have been a good pick, too.
Yeah. Well, just going to fly away. herO adding a bunch of his own gates. Let me check to see if he actually saw that 4th base coming up. He saw the pylon over there, so he can kind of assume.
Well, as herO builds up this Disruptor count, he has a good amount of Immortals in this army to kind of slow down Stalkers from getting too much into his face. And, I gotta look at where herO's at, and I just love his tech units that he has here, despite the fact that we have, Patience kind of getting himself into a good spot. He's got great upgrades. He's got a strong army. These Disruptors feel to me like they're going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, they definitely are going to. Even though herO looks like he's gearing up for an attack right before +2 finishes, maybe he's going to wait for that to finish and then go for the attack. Because he is going to be down 1 upgrade if he does not wait. As you were saying, though, the Disruptors are going to be the key here, and the upgrade's not really going to matter for them. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it blinks out of there, but now the blink is off of cooldown. Okay, Patience sees all these Disruptors. This is like I'm getting a little bit of chills watching this because I'm like, this is the scary thing is Protoss check. Oh, he has disruptors. I don't have a counter. Okay, that's hard. Wow, a couple great pickoffs there and a couple wasted Novas, whatever those are called. Oh my God. What are those called? Like disruption Novas or something?
Purification Novas.
Purification Nova. There you go. I knew it was something like that.
And he actually flies away with his Phoenixes. I thought he was going to keep him in the army and try to lift Immortals and stuff like that, but decides not to. Would have been a very micro-intensive army if he decided to do that, but he is multitasking at 2 places at the same time. Patience sees blood in the water. He wants to go for this attack right now.
Yeah, let's see if he can actually hit it. Oh my God! Okay, he does hit that Nova, but it only gets the Archons. Throws out quite a few others quite quickly, and it kind of feels like a little bit of a waste there, but herO has backed up, still sitting strong on 3 bases. Let's not forget, his Phoenixes are keeping the economy very even in this game.
Yeah, exactly even, actually. 53 to 53, and that's after he picked up about 13 kills with those Phoenixes, and they're still alive, so they can come back once they regen their energy. And herO just playing it a bit defensive. You can tell he feels confident about his army with the disruptors. And it looks like the response here from Patience is to make his own disruptors.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit risky just because, you know, there's already Phoenixes out that can lift those up, but he's got a lot of Archons and Stalkers, so maybe it'll work out. But nice blink forward here from herO. And it looks like Patience going to blink forward, pick off these disruptors, and he gets all of them there. Well, all but one. And
all but
actually,
one,
that gets a lot of Stalkers.
And look at how many Immortals are left over here for Patience. Uh-oh, not microing that disruptor either. herO loses so many of those high-tech units there in that fight and is forced to back off. He's basically got only Stalkers at this point. He's got 2 disruptors and 4 Phoenixes, but he lost all his Immortals as well.
Yeah, this is not looking so good for herO. This type of unit comp that he has is not really going to do that well. He's a little bit late getting this 4th base as well. You know, I loved his opening. I loved where he was at, having so many Phoenixes, you know, just great tech roots, great choices. But if Patience, it feels like, is out-microing him in a lot of the battles and just outplaying him in general.
Making better decisions almost. He's fighting on his terms. I love the blink forward, that confidence to blink into the army to snipe 4 disruptors because he knew the timing for them to get off cooldown was about to reset. So he's like, no, this is my one chance. I got to blink now. And he did it. He took that action. And that may have just given him the game. I mean, he's very far ahead of herO at this point. Yeah, it's looking pretty darn good for Patience. herO right now starting up on his charge. Oh, wait, no, that's Patience actually, sorry. But, you know, herO, he has his +3 attack about halfway done. His 4th base is about to finish. Here comes Patience, though. And herO is still going to have the much bigger disruptor count, and you know what can happen with disruptors. Sometimes you get the gigantic hit, and all of a sudden you win the game. The blink forward and the disruptor balls are coming forward, but they do miss. By the way, I like this little tiny group of adepts that he keeps having with his army that he's like shading through. You know, a lot of times people like to get observer speed or oracles for tagging, but if you don't have either of those, definitely those can do a kind of similar job. Picks off an Archon there with the disruptor ball. Another good one coming in. Only hits 2 though. Great split there by Patience. Huge splits here. Another reason. Oh, blink though into the Purification Nova. Oh my God, those were crazy. And immediately, this is what I was talking about. 1 or 2 Purification Novas that hit the right targets, and all of a sudden, herO's up 20 supply and on the chase. Oh man, Patience has to go all the way home right now. He's only producing 1 disruptor at a time, finally adding another robo. Also trying to take another base, but his army is mostly Stalkers at the moment. Yeah, kind of an awkward spot. He needs to be so careful with how he blinks now that there are so many disruptors, and he doesn't have the bulk of his army to support his Stalkers. This is scary stuff. He does have charge, but his Zealot count is so small. It's not really going to make that much of a difference. Gets in there, immediately kills off that Mothership core. Okay, 3 Purification Novas go down, don't do anything, but damn, he has a lot of those. He's got 6 Disruptors in this army alone. And, I mean, you could just use it to zone. He can slowly take out bases. At this point, his army is so much stronger than Patience's. He's going to lose this Warp Prism kind of for free there in the middle of the map. This is looking like a very old PvP as far as Legacy of the Void goes. We almost never see this type of unit comp, but these two definitely battling it out. Oh! And that actually still hit pretty darn well. Yeah, it really did. Nice little chunk of Stalkers there going over to Patience, and now he's on the attack, coming over to the 4th base. There is no Mothership Core. He can't recall from here, so he could get trapped, but he does trap part of herO's army here in the 4th base.
He's dealing a lot of damage and will pick this off, but I feel like every single unit is going to die 100% here for Patience.
He gets trapped, and look at this, the Disruptors haven't even gotten off. He's actually trying to get ahead of the Stalkers before they blink, and it's just not going to matter. Not enough units here for Patience.
Now, Patience running out of here as quickly as he can. He does have some Disruptors at home, so if he gets really fantastic hits, he still has a chance in this game, but he has to get really fantastic hits.
Maybe he should go for like the flank disruptor move. We've seen that from time to time, like in a warp prism and a speed warp prism, something like that. Maybe too little too late though. And here's the one Phoenix that picks up the disruptor, and I think that's just gonna be it.
That is it. You're right about that. All the disruptors are dead, and Patience just doesn't have anything left over. Oh, he's showing off now.
Yeah. herO coming back in this game, having his faith, putting his faith in the disruptors here. GG. That's going to be it. herO taking game number 1 against Patience.
Wow. Fantastically done. Really, like, strategically, what a smart game from herO on this map. I think that was just awesome, the way he went Phoenixes and, you know, then was able to go into Disruptors, a tech that we don't see that much anymore, but really you can see why this guy is the winningest player in Pro League. Just absolutely knows what he's doing.
And now he's already gotten 1 kill, and he's going into one of his favorite maps here, King Stadium Station, for game number 2. So, what is the answer now for Afreeca? I know you were saying that it could be alive.
Yeah.
Could possibly be curious.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to field Symbol today.
No,
I really,
I don't
right?
believe so. Yeah.
No,
I think it's definitely got to be Super.
Yeah.
In that 4th spot.
Yeah, no, I think for sure it has to be alive or curious coming out.
I don't think you throw Super to the Wolves.
I think no, certainly.
You save him for a Terran.
I don't think you would
perhaps.
PvP here just because the map is like, this is a good chance to snipe someone like herO.
Yeah.
I think alive could be a good choice. I think alive is in just great shape right now.
Yeah, I like the alive choice as well. We'll see if Afreeca does agree with us, because as Wolf always likes to say, in this format, the second map is actually the biggest advantage for the losing team, because you know who the player is going to be, and you also know the map, and you can prepare for that map. Whereas herO is mainly preparing for New Gettysburg, not as much so preparing for King Stadium Station.
It's a really good point.
So whoever this sniper is going to be, he's been playing only King Stadium Station, preparing for herO.
Absolutely agree with you on this. And you know, obviously can't be a Protoss player, wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. Let's see who it is.
Let's see who they
How long does it take before they show us? I want to know. I want to know.
They're not even in the game yet. We're still waiting.
They're really not letting us know.
We don't even get the spoiler to see the race when I see him in the lobby. Not even that, Ortosis.
No, I'm sad. I'm like really kind of giddy today. You know, this is the playoffs, man. This is such an important match. What will it be?
As you said before, whoever wins this match will secure their spot for the final grand postseason playoffs. So, very, very important day for both of these teams. CJ hoping to get that win, so they pass Afreeca in points. And Afreeca hoping to keep that lead over CJ.
You know, it's really so much is on the line. When you look at it, right, CJ is one of the greatest StarCraft teams of all time. These guys are a dynasty. They've done so much in the game. And to not make it into the final playoffs, that's kind of embarrassing, really, for your team. And then you look at Afreeca, and it's like they're brand new. Afreeca has just entered the StarCraft scene. They're doing so much with it. GSL, you know, they bought out. They're supporting that like really, really well, along with the new Brood War League and all this. So, like, if they can kind of come out of nowhere and immediately make such a big splash, especially when you look at that roster, it's like a misfits roster, right?
Yeah, I mean it's all these veterans, these guys coming from different teams, mix and matching, right?
Yeah, it's like the elf that wants to be a dentist. It's the reindeer with a red nose. You know, it's like it's all these players that you wouldn't imagine would ever do anything together, but they really are. So if Freaks can do something or beat out CJ, be one of the top 4 teams in Pro League, that's like
And,
I mean, that's a huge deal, guys.
And props to Afreeca, because there is a noticeable difference now between the SPL team, where a lot of these players came from, and the Afreeca, the current team now. Whereas it seems like everybody's on point, they're really passionate, they're practicing, they're getting really good, and it's just props to them. I'm feeling really strongly about that team. I feel like if they get into the postseason playoffs, the grand postseason, they have like a decent chance to maybe cause some upsets.
Yeah, they could cause upsets. Like, I really don't count on them winning, right? You look at the lineups of some of these teams,
not
and
in
it's
front
like,
of Jenner and KT.
I know, right?
I don't think that's possible.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure Zest just beats everybody, right? Or like SOS turns it on.
Yeah. He's like, oh, we're going to give you a bit of a handicap. Zest is like, oh, it's no problem. Don't worry about it. Like, just put me in the booth. I'll do it. I'll deal with it.
So, yeah, man, it's super important. Okay, we have herO in the lobby. Still haven't shown who the next player is. If it comes up, we can spoil it for you guys before the camera.
Yeah, they're really taking a while with this one.
Yeah.
Some movement over there at the Afreeca bench. It looks like some players are going to the bathroom. Won't spoil who those players are, because obviously some of those players could be some of the players that are coming out. And obviously they wouldn't be in the booth if that was the case, if they were going to the bathroom. So.